Welcome to the Jiu-Jitsu Theory course. My name is Jordan Prestiger and I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. I've been training for over 11 years and I've been teaching for 8 years. Within that time, I've noticed that the why behind Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is often not taught, only the how. The how is just techniques, but the why is the concepts behind the techniques, as well as the in-between. You can't always be doing just techniques in Jiu-Jitsu, there's the in-between. The in-between is what leads to the techniques. By learning Jiu-Jitsu theory, you'll learn the concepts behind the techniques and what to do to hit the techniques. It's important to understand body mechanics, the way our bodies work in relation to another person's body. What we're looking for is to take control of our opponent's torso and neck, the most important aspects of inside position. And we're looking to prevent our opponent from taking access to our inside position, and the way that we do that is using the extremities of our torso, our arms, legs, and head. The extremities of your body can only do 3 things to be productive. They can either grip, frame, or close space. So what gripping is gripping to take inside position, which is offensive. Every choke, every submission, we need to take inside position. We frame to keep our opponent away from our inside position. We use the structural strength of our bones to keep them away. Closing space is exactly how it sounds, just staying tight. So for example, if we want to prevent underhooks, we keep our elbows tight. Or if we're in turtle, then we can also stay tight with our elbows and our knees to prevent access to our inside position. You need to be doing one of those 3 things or all at the same time. You need to use what's available to grip, frame, or close off space. You need to be doing something productive with each limb. Your arms and legs can be subdivided into 3 categories: grips, frames, and inside position. When it comes to your arms, your hands are your grips, and everything below it up until the elbow and including the elbow are your frames. You use your frames to keep people away from you. If your opponent gets past your elbows, you can't frame with it. You need to use your frames to frame. There are short frames where your arm is bent and you use your frame to frame, but you can also use your arm at maximum extension to frame. Because grips are at the end of your frames, often you use your grips to frame. For example, a long frame, the end of it is your grip, so you can naturally say your grips can both grip and frame. When it comes to your legs, your feet are your grips, and everything above and including your knee is your frames. Everything above your knee is your inside position. You can use your frame to frame, for example, a knee shield. But you can also use a long frame, which is your leg at maximum extension. Because your grip is at the end of your frame, again, we can say that grips can both grip and frame. Our frames manage distance to keep people away from us. So if I have my frame in the way, they can't come close because they're fighting against the structural strength of my bone. If they get past my elbow, I can't frame with anything past my elbow. This is inside position. By subdividing our arms and our legs into grips, frames, and inside position, we can also subdivide them into layers of defense. Because we can't frame with the areas above our elbows and above our knees, we need to use what's in front of them to defend, which is why it's important to understand that you have layers of defense. If you keep someone in front of your hand, then you're in layer 1 of your defense, and if your elbow is in front of someone, you're in the 2nd layer of your defense. So if they get past your hand, but they're in front of your elbow, you're in the 2nd layer. If they get past your elbow, then they're taken inside position, because again, you can't frame with anything past your elbow. The same with your legs. Your feet are your 1st layer of defense if they're in front of your opponent. If they get past your feet, then they need to get past your knees, your 2nd layer of defense. If they get past your 2nd layer, well, now they take an inside position because you can't frame with anything above your knees. Jiu-Jitsu is a balance between offense and defense. We often need to be gripping inside position and framing to prevent inside position. So we don't need to be in our layers of defense if we're going for offense. You need to use what's available to grip, frame, or close off space, but so does your opponent. Because they also need to use what's available, we need to take away what's available. We need to isolate their limbs. What isolation means is to take away their ability to grip, frame, or close off space. We need to always be isolating our opponent's limbs to better control them and to attack easier. The way that I want you to approach this course is by using the concepts while you're grappling. I want you to be thinking, am I using every limb productively? Am I gripping, framing, or closing off space? While you're gripping and framing, are you also closing off space? Because you often need to be doing these 3 things simultaneously. So for example, if I'm trying to take an underhook and I'm loose about it, I have my elbow wide open, I'm not closing off space, and they might be able to get an underhook for themselves. We're going to go in depth in all these concepts and more throughout